Conscious collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, changemakers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
Hi, what up, guys? This is Emily.
I'm Lisa, and we are the Conscious Collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started watching this show on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know what it's called.
Did I just hear about it last night? Is it a super weird name about train wreck something or other?
Train wreck? Oh my gosh. Well, there's a lot of train wreck stuff.
No, but like that's in the name of it? No?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Well, this one, all right, I don't know. Tell me if this sounds like the plot, because you know how Netflix, it shows you like a trailer and then you end up watching half the show by accident because it keeps going. Anyways, it's kind of like a rom-com. It is about these two sisters and they have a podcast. And, so for me watching it, I naturally think of me and you and how we do our podcast. And also they're just as imperfect as we are, I just want to say.
We're perfect. What do you mean?
Imperfectly perfect. What makes them so enjoyable, and like they end up getting syndicated. They end up being picked up by a big corporation and everything, which one day may happen for us.
Well, is that what we want?
I don't know, but maybe. I mean, maybe we
would have to edit ourselves to some degree.
No, these girls didn't. Like, that's one reason why they, whoever they work with really likes them, is because they're not really edited at all.
Good.
And
if you're a big corporation thinking about picking us up, just FYI.
Yeah.
We're not going to edit.
Yeah, yes. Actually, we do light editing, I will say. We lightly edit.
Like editing the podcast, yes.
Right. That we edit the podcast, but we don't edit ourselves necessarily. And I actually think that's a big trend in podcasting now that I found, because I listen to a variety of different podcasters. And the ones that I like the best are just like, I connect with them because I happen to be talking, like I see an episode, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just said that word out loud. I have to listen to that. That's how my mind works. That's how I choose my programming of like what I want to watch or what I want to listen to or what I want to read, is if I see something in the sign, I see it as a sign in the title, in the description or whatever. If it's like, oh my gosh, we were just talking about it, I have to listen to this so I can talk to Emily about it, or I have to listen to this so I can figure out this problem I'm having. So I think that's what podcasting is becoming. And also like a little bit of shock value in allowing people to be unleashed. Hey, I have to reach out and see how Velvet's doing since her dream symposium that she got invited to. But she did not like the word unleashed, but I really like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember the leash conversation.
Yeah, the leash. It took her to a different place. There might be a little bit more around that to unpack,
To unleash.
Unleash. Anyway.
Love you, girl.
I want to know the story about the leash. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Anyway, so that show was really interesting to me. And like, so if you're scrolling and you're looking for something to watch, it kills time. It's an adult program. It's not for Olivia or for Ainsley to watch, but it's about a girl. She starts talking about her dating life in the podcast, and she starts dating a rabbi, and she's not Jewish. So there's a lot of like learning about like, falling in love with someone that has different values, really. although it doesn't say that, but they connect in so many other ways. You know, on paper, she didn't look like the best connection for him. On paper, his ex-fiance looked like the best because she was a stand-up, go to synagogue and be in the community. She was doing everything the right way. She had a really high education, a very normal job. And here, he ends up breaking things off with her. Oh God, spoiler alert, everybody. Anyway, but then connects with this podcaster that's really unleashed. Anyway, so that's all I'll say. Sometimes what looks good on paper is not the best thing in anything, in business, in relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that takes me back to our pre-chat. See, there's a
method. Just put it right out there, ain't you?
There's a method to my madness and how my brain unpacks. But I think, we were talking about, and we talk about all the time, the imperfectly perfect and all of that. People getting so hung up on the bullet points that make up the resume of their life experience, whether it's business or in dating or whatever. But that's not really what's really important. Like, what's really important is like vibe check. Mm-hmm. What is the energy that you exude? Like, how do people feel around you? How much can they trust you? Are you a good listener? Are you exuding something that feels safe and fun and not draining?
And genuine.
Genuine. Yeah. Like that's the real.
It's like real. Instagram versus reality.
Mm-hmm.
How closely does your highlight reel match the real?
Yeah. I don't know. My highlight reel looks pretty good. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Look, and I will say this. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a highlight reel.
Yeah.
I don't. But again,
everybody knows.
Closely does it match?
Right. Oh, sure. Yeah.
On?
Yeah.
Or are you just like, completely masking?
Yes.
A hot mess dumpster fire.
Okay. Am I masking a hot mess dumpster fire, do you think? Just want to put it out there. just
I don't think you're masking it. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm wearing it. But is it feng shui? Is the garbage feng shui? Yes.
No, it's not. That is funny though. No, it's not.
No.
Well, look, every house has a dumpster, and you gotta get the chi of the dumpster right too, don't you?
I think I make a positive.
Is that incorporated into the?
Yeah, everything can be feng shui. So yes, everything can be feng shui.
You wouldn't want your garbage from a feng shui perspective out in the middle of the room.
No.
You want a highlight reel to some degree.
Oh, deep. Cheers. Cheers with the tea.
Did I just feng shui that?
You just, yes. You're learning through osmosis.
I guess.
Yes, that's a very deep ancient principle.
Don't put your garbage in the middle of the room, guys.
It's said in a non-elegant way, but so let's take it a little bit further. Like I just want to I already put it out in my newsletter anyway. So as you were talking about, like you don't want to like keep your garbage out within your line of sight all the time. Mm-hmm. So I congratulate you for simplifying that. Like this should go in our version of feng shui for the modern world.
Feng shui for the modern world. I was going to say feng shui for dummies, but y'all aren't dumb. We might be a little bit, but
everybody is. And
y'all are
allowing ourselves to be dumb a little bit with complicated things, I don't think we're dumb. I want to remove the word dumb. Lighthearted.
Mm-hmm. Well, I use
It's,
the word dumb in a lighthearted way because I think it's
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So universe, we're not dumb.
yeah.
So leaving something in your line of sight that is in someone else's mind garbage
Mm-hmm.
every day starts to impact you internally. And in Feng Shui, say you're going to allow, and this, gosh, on a big level, on the most extreme end of things, if you are a hoarder and you're living in a hoarding situation and the garbage is literally blocking the light, like to you're not going to live very long in that situation. I mean,
You're not going to thrive, certainly.
you're not going to sleep. You're probably not going to be
Unfortunately,
able.
I've seen it in my
It's
health
happening.
stint. I've seen
Yeah,
pretty horrific living conditions.
I know. In the healthcare, when
Definitely
going
don't
in,
thrive.
that's a great example. So, like when you're an at-home nurse and you're visiting people and they're really, really sick and they leave their medical supplies out and dirty things and right in front of their line of sight. And then soon they start to not even like, I mean, I use a lot of Feng Shui practitioners talk about your environment being a mirror for you. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it should reflect back things that make you feel good about yourself in some way.
Mhm.
I'm not like gonna, because I know people need to live in real situations and I have kids and I have pets and, you know, I sometimes am not impeccably clean, but I make it a priority, to ask for help when I need it. I'll bring in someone, the house cleaner or whatever to get the places that I just don't see, then she'll be like, girl, you haven't cleaned on top of your fan this month. I'm like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? Like, I'm not going to see that. But energetically, energetically, dust settling on a fan is stagnation. It's
Mm.
stuck chi, and it's above you. So it could be blocking messages from the universe or God, or it just is a weight. It can also be like a weight on your shoulders or pressure or a clouded mind even. So what you said was actually about the garbage. You want to kind of like hide your garbage is actually very feng shui. And even um, garbage cans in the house is like a very modern thing that used to not be a thing.
Take out your garbage on
Take out your
occasion.
garbage. Yeah,
On a
take out
regular
your garbage.
basis.
Take out your recycling. And especially, I've done a lot of house calls for people that have health issues, or they're preparing to have a baby. Why? The feng shui reason why we go into nesting mode before we have the babies, getting it clean, making room for the new.
Mhm.
Um, you don't want to, I mean, you don't want to welcome someone in with like stinky garbage can that you have to walk by for health reasons and just for like how you feel. So it's like, even like how we nest before we go on vacation.
Mhm.
I do this when I'm going
I
on my,
do. I like to come home to
I
a
like to come home to a clean house, and then you walk in and you're like, dude, does my house always smell like this?
yes, yes, when you've been away from your own
Yes.
scent for a while.
Yeah, isn't that, and you're like, do I like this? Is this
Nothing's worse in terms of like, and we live in a vacation place,
Mhm.
so our post vacation blues are already mitigated to some degree, but
Yeah.
nothing's worse than walking in from a vacation and your house is messy.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You're just like,
Yeah.
can we go back?
So you were very feng shui, Emily, but there is just like a psychological, like,
Excuse
ooh, don't get choked up. I can't help you. You're too far away.
me.
Um,
I'm okay.
you're very feng shui in that you do that. And I think, women are highly intuitive and do that more frequently than men, those types of things. But men do that to a degree as well. I mean, and a lot of really conscious men, you know, I won't divulge everything, but we were talking about the dating world, but I have a lot of matchmaker friends around me, so I hear this a lot. But you know, there's a trend now moving away from going over to each other's houses to Netflix and chill early on, for example, because people since the pandemic have become so like they've gotten into their routines. They realized their spaces were important and a reflection of them. And so they really wanted to discern, is this someone I can have in my space?
Mm-hmm. Well, and safety.
Safety. Oh, yes, safety too. Safety
How
too.
soon are we Netflix and chilling these days?
Well, I mean, I was out of the dating world for a long, long time, but yeah. So, I mean, nobody come to me for dating advice.
But yeah, no, I mean, people should have to earn their way into your sacred
Yes.
space. Your space should be sacred
Yes.
uh, to begin with, you know, sanctuary
Mhm.
of sorts. And
Yeah. And it really is just an extension or expression of you to a level, perfect or imperfect.
mhm.
Um, you know, so I don't know. I think going back to the concept of like what is the energy that we're presenting and what are we hung up on? um, I don't know. It's a different world that we live in. Like even today, in social media, I've been making a point to just really like make a lot more like personal connections with people. I'm not just gonna collect follows or follow people and not engage in some way because I really value that myself. So
You're
I'm
better
just chatting.
than me.
Huh?
I said you're better than me at that.
I really do feel very like I really like who shows up on my feed because I usually have like a little chat with them and it's neat. Like they're from all over the world. And I just find it so fascinating that, there's real people. Like I'm the one answering people that come into my DMs and they're always, by the way, I don't get any like creepy ones, which I think is energetically like protected.
They're
Um,
probably just in your request box.
they might be in spam
I'm
or
sure a
whatever.
pretty lady like you is getting some skeezers in the
I
DM.
don't,
You do. You do. You do.
girl, I don't. I have no,
Check your
huh?
request. Said check your request and then let me know.
I will. I'm going to check. I'm
Okay.
going to check. I'm going to check here in a little bit. Like part of me is like, why don't I get those? But anyway, so I was chatting with a lady today and on Instagram, and we connected last night. I don't know how. She said, "How did you connect with me?" And I've like looked at her profile and I was like, I could not remember. Well, it was actually like a relationship coaching type of thing. And I have lots of relationship coaches in my feed all the time. It resonates a lot with my clients, and I'm always realizing the the things that show up in our relationships also show up in our businesses. And so to have that, like they like that type of content, it's always very like useful. It's a good resource for me to like share with friends or my clients, and even for myself, just to be like, oh man, like, when rejection shows up in business, it shows up in your relationships. And on the conversely, when you're like really connected and especially like in the early stages of dating when you're in limerence and obsessed with each other, it's like things really flourish, like, and also you just don't even care if things don't. So it's but it's still it's all energetics, and being able to get into that like higher vibration of like, I am so joyful that I'm going to take all these risks, and being in a relationship with someone is a big risk.
Yeah.
And so it kind of just gives you like this, pass to be like, okay, like it's like this energetic return kind of thing. Anyway, so the lady was like, how did you connect with me? And I looked and was like, oh, it must have been this reel that you put out. And Anyway, it just made me think like, what was the whole point of that story? I thought it was really good. It might be
If
gone. But did you enjoy that story?
I did. I
Yeah.
did. Well, another thing that we were kind of, and this goes with that a little bit, but another thing we were kind of talking about in the pre-chat, as we do in relation to both dating, interpersonal
Mhm.
relationships, and
Ah,
business,
yes.
is like essentially like what you bring to the table. And
Yes.
I was thinking more about it, and so we were talking about, okay, and again, this applies to both business and interpersonal, but we were talking about in the context of dating, like people
Mhm.
showing up with these checklists and rules and
Yes.
regulations, and this person must meet all of these qualifications, but then it's like, when you flip the mirror around, but what
Yeah.
are you bringing? What are
Right.
you bringing to the collaboration, right? We were just talking about
Mhm.
this in the context of collaborations in general, and I was thinking a little more about that. And do you think that if people are stuck on these, we'll call it, and look, you should have very high standards and value yourself. Don't get me wrong. That should be a given. But when you have these like ultra high standards without sort of examining yourself in the same light,
Yeah.
or that, and when a lot of these standards are more sort of superficially oriented, or whatever the case may be, do you think that a lot of times that the people who tend to show up that way is like projecting insecurities that
Yes.
they deep down feel like there is lacking in themselves, so they're just expecting it to come from another person or another entity?
I do think it's all a lot of the issues that we have are from projection and like
Mm,
whether we're doing it consciously or not into a relationship. But I feel like I see this a lot and it's on all types of dating. Like there's no there's no one group. But it's and I agree with you, like self-worth, it's important. Like that's an important thing that you just shouldn't completely trade. But diminishing someone else's personal,
must be this tall, must make this
yes,
amount of money,
yes,
must text within this amount of
yes,
minutes, must
oh,
do
yeah,
XYZ on the first date, must you know what I mean? These
yes.
kind of arbitrary sort of regulations,
There's so
and half
many.
the time, when you're talking about behaviors, like, yes, as a general, um,
Mhm.
guideline, yeah, you want to probably seek out good communication, right? But
Right.
then to parse that down to these like just very specific, and I feel like half the time these are just made up rules from people on the internet who decide that this is the way that every human should behave
Yeah.
and approach
Well,
things.
they're either made up rules or they're distortions of things that are in books that fit the narrative of what people are experiencing. But um, yeah, absolutely. Gosh, my brain is not working, but I really liked what you were saying. Oh, so like must be a good communicator, but like, are you a good communicator?
Right.
And like I am one person just based on previous prior relationships in dating and also in business. Communication is something that has been an ongoing test for me. Um, and I think, having a podcast helps, in terms of communication and especially like if you have any like introvert tendencies or tendencies that go within you can't do that in a relationship and you can't do that in business. You can nourish
Well, and
yourself
that's
and
the
go
thing
in.
too. Like, good communication can take many different forms, and
Yes.
it might not always look like this perfect example of we text this much in a certain amount of time,
Right.
and yada yada, when in reality this person may be a great communicator, they're just not a texter. Like, that's just not how they communicate, or vice versa.
Oh my God. I just had like the biggest like download when you were talking. So it's like some of these things that we evaluate ourselves, our relationships, our businesses on, they are not really measurable because they're not tangible. It's more energetic. What is like, it's the value that's felt. It's not something that you can put into like a checklist. You can't say, oh, my boyfriend didn't text me 3 times today. Like, I'm throwing him in the trash.
And putting it in the middle of the room.
Yeah, I'm putting it in the middle of the room. I'm going to light it on fire. But yeah, I mean, it's like the real things that matter a lot of times are the unseen things.
Mm-hmm. And then, like we were saying, and are you a good communicator? Because if you've got all these specific rules and regulations that a person must follow, and you haven't shared your expectations with them, you haven't communicated, what this looks like for you, then fuck are you doing? Are you a good communicator? Or are you just expecting them to read your mind and know exactly what you want, and then, trashing them when they don't meet those expectations?
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that is like such a hot topic right now for me. I don't know if it resonates with people listening, but like one of the most challenging things that you can do. And I know we have friends, like, I'm not going to say names, but if she's listening or whatever, is going through the dating experience, but she was like very good at like ripping the band-aid off. Like, she came to every first date like, this is what I need, this is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know who I'm talking about?
Does she have a husband now?
Yes.
Yes.
And 2 babies.
Yes. I channel her all the time. Like, shout out to you if you listen to this. But I channel her all the time in that whole experience. Because I mean, I watched that woman methodically find her soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, this is why I'm here. So
Amazing. I mean, I think
and,
that's like, it takes such courage.
and they're like the most idyllic little family.
Yeah. I mean, but that's like having that inner courage to evaluate things on that level for relationships and for business. Like, it's really hard, to do that. It's hard to like, you know, in your business, even if you've spent a long time. I just had this happen in my business. I spent so many years since the beginning of my business putting time, energy, and effort into a service. And it just kind of like morphed.
Somebody's dusty ass son.
Oh gosh, well that's another.
I was finishing that sentence in my head.
That's another topic, but like as much as I like loved and really liked this service, and it had started to like, I felt it needed to evolve into something else, and it just wasn't there. So it was hard, but I had to let it go. So that meant like, I actually like, I'm so attached to it that I just deactivated it for now. But it's like, we have to really look at what we choose to allow into our like energetic field, like with an editing eye to a degree, but also like look at, is it something that, like you said, like, is it something that I'm not contributing that's making it fail or not feel right? Or is it just like, it's definitely like an inner and an outer game all the time.
Are you attributing qualities to this idea or this person that are only potential and not actual.
Yes.
Are you projecting a fantasy, an
Yeah.
image of what you think you want this person or this idea to be onto
Well, it's
this
like
person? And
that's the
then
biggest struggle, I think, of
I think
people
that's
that
mostly why people hang on to you could,
absolutely.
ideas, people, businesses, whatever. I think that's
Mhm.
why they hang on for too long. Self-interest.
Absolutely. I just listened to a comedian. I shared it with you today. I don't know if you had time to see it on Instagram, but this comedian that came through Florida, and he was like, "You guys are amazing." He's like, he was in Naples, and he was like, "I was just up in where the hurricane hit the hardest, and everyone was just going about their life." He was like, "And they're still there," talking about us, by the way. And he's like, it was like an abusive relationship because I was like, man, like, why are you guys still here? You're getting creamed. Like, it's storm season, it's coming back. And everyone he talked to was like, but it's so nice. When it's nice, it's really nice. And, it's so like, when the weather's nice, it's really nice to us. And we just really like that, that we look past. But I don't know if that's good or bad because that
And
is my
it's not an
mindset.
earthquake, bro. Right? It's not
It's not
a
an earthquake. It's
not a
not a
wildfire.
fire for
It's
us.
not a
Yes.
so
So I don't know. Like that was funny to me, and that might not be a totally relevant example here. But
I get it.
like, why do we sustain or weather? Why do we stick through things? But entrepreneurs and people that are visionaries and change makers, like there's got to be a little bit of within that visionary aspect. There's a little bit of delusion, a healthy dose of delusion,
I think there
because
is a healthy dose of delusion.
mhm. But
I hope so.
can you meet that? Like, can you have that delusion,
You
healthy
turn
dose?
delusion into reality.
hmm can the rest
Was
of
it
you
ever delusion if you can
sometimes,
make
but
it into
sometimes, like you
reality?
said, it's yeah. Sometimes, like you said, it's projecting things that don't exist. Then it falls into insanity when you're just like, oh, it's still not there. It's still not there. So I think that's that's also like a good relationship business crossover. Um, yeah. Wow. I don't know. I don't know what it all means, but I think it has a lot to do with Cancer.
Mm,
There's like a
all the
Leo.
feelings.
Yeah. A lot
All
of,
the feelings are just out there.
yeah. I mean, I saw every astrology report, every tarot reader was just talking about like, man, like this time period, people are just getting rocked by all of these things that we're talking about. And we were talking about it in the International Feng Shui Guild yesterday. We had like our monthly call, and the call took a turn because what we started to talk about instead of the topic was like, how do you stay on track with your goals, kind of thing. And instead, people were talking about like, it's really not about like the goals, it's about your energy and the timing. Because sometimes you're setting a goal that's just not relevant or on path with the timing, with the rhythm of the everything. And so then also, of course, within the guild, there's all different types of Feng Shui practitioners, and everyone was talking about their modalities and what they're using to get a read on what's going on in this mid-year check-in. And the practitioners across the board all said the same thing, whether they were astrology readers, whether they were tarot readers, whether they were classical, whether they were shamanic. Everybody's modality said the same thing. So it was like, it just becomes less about like checking off the boxes on a perfect resume or presentation or business plan. And it becomes more about being aware and clear on your own energy. And then what is the energy or rhythm of the environment around you? Because
And having that adaptability to be able to make those adjustments. Like, obviously it's good to have goals so that you have a direction to
Yeah.
move in, but it's also important to, regularly reevaluate, audit, alignment audit,
Mhm.
right? Audit the alignment and
Mhm.
see where you might need to pivot or shift or adjust
Yeah,
um, the
exactly.
path or the goal itself.
Yeah, it's all about awareness, like honest awareness. And I think in collaborations, friendships, partnerships, businesses, whatever it is choosing, just like our spaces are mirroring back to us, things, like really evaluate that and accept that. And, you know, making sure that it's a healthy, energetic exchange. Like, I think sometimes you choose partners or projects so that you can grow in a certain area because you see something that's like maybe it's something you've never done before in that way, or maybe it's like you see someone exemplifying, and hopefully it's authentic, exemplifying something that you could really learn from. But then conversely, that should be in return. So it means, like, if don't you haven't walked that path before and you're really figuring things out as you go, are you energetically putting in um value to match that?
Yeah. This is your sign to take your garbage out.
Yay, you brought it back full circle. Yes. Evaluate and audit your garbage. And
Mhm.
if it's visible, take it out.
Take it out. Or if it stinks.
Or if it stinks, yes. Yes.
I
Wow.
literally do need to take my garbage out.
Yes.
So
Well, this has been a
glad,
sign for
glad
both of
we had
us.
this conversation.
I'm glad we've had this conversation too. I also want to comment. I noticed that in your new recording space that you have a similar display as me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm in
Did you see
what my like child's it's my fridge.
that? I mean, a fruit. Yours is an
Oh,
artist,
oh
though.
yeah, you can see my fruit. Yeah, mine's more functional than
You
decorative.
have mine is functional. I eat from that bowl, but you have lemons, and lemons are very auspicious to have in that area.
I have lemon water. I have warm lemon water every morning.
That's very good.
The cleanse. Got some bananas over there too. Some Granny Smith apples, a sweet
That's
potato.
a that's a good feng shui cure
Like
you have
Suki
going on
Craig
there.
for my fruit basket.
Oh gosh.
And lots of batch cooked protein in the fridge, guys. Batch
Yes.
cook your protein.
Yes.
No
I like
excuses.
that idea. I like that
No
idea.
excuses.
Like,
Got a big bowl of beef at all times.
that doesn't sound good when you say it like
Oh, it's
that.
delicious.
I'm
I
sure.
am
Yeah, I know you're a
such
good cook.
I mean, it's nothing too complicated. It's
No.
grass-fed ground beef. Shout out to Aldi for having an amazing price on organic grass-fed ground beef. I throw it in the cast iron skillet every Sunday, brown it up, put a little salt and
Mm.
pepper, and
Are
that's
you
it.
drooling
I got
a
a big
little
old
bit? Are you
bowl of
hungry?
yeah, I am such a T-Rex. Like I will like while I'm so it makes dinner prep super easy because I
Yeah,
have some variation. I use that as my protein pretty much every night, and Olivia eats it too. So it makes it super easy because that's the highest prep portion
yeah,
of the meal, and I can just mix and match it. It's very versatile, right?
I like that
So, but while I'm doing that, I will often just kind
taste.
of
You
pick,
have to taste what you're cooking.
I will just eat meat right out of the bowl, and I'm
Quote,
so happy
steady
with.
here first.
Yeah, T-Rex.
Oh,
T-Rex.
Emily. Well, it has been a joy. And, you know,
It's been something.
Yeah, it's been something. And I think right now we're just procrastinating from going back to work.
Not us. Not us. Never
We've
procrastinate.
unpacked, repacked, and then took the garbage out.
We'll talk about that later. See what I did there?
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay. So if anyone wants to hear more about this, they can join us inside of the Conscious Collaboration Collective, our closed and private Facebook group, or you can connect with us on all the socials that we are on currently. And yeah, so we'll talk to you in 5.
Holla.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment, mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.